Rangers take care of business against the Buffalo Sabres. And I wouldn't say that it was pretty. They were able to win both games. They just keep on plugging away, and the Rangers improved their record to 26-18-6, which is the best the record has been all season. I think ultimately they're going to run out of time. Look, there's only 6 games left in a division that is 1 through 4 strong. But just the fact that they're still alive and playing meaningful hockey, I think, is great for the kids. And the kids are really stepping up. And it's great to see. And I think you look back at, that Flyer loss. They win the second Flyer game, but that first Flyer loss is a bit of a killer. Again, even if they win that game, playoffs have not really been a realistic thing for me. That would have certainly kept them more in it, but give them credit for coming back. Buffalo has been playing some pretty good hockey lately. They've been spoilers. They were coming off a really good win against Boston. And so the Rangers get off to a hot start in the first game. And Mika Zibanejad, who has another huge night. And just imagine if Mika had been just half as good in that first half of the season. He was just nowhere to be found. And, maybe it was COVID. We're not sure the exact reason what it was, but he is now back to just being an explosive player and just putting up gaudy numbers. So Zibanejad scores on a beautiful pass by Alexis Lafreniere. Just a great pass, finds Zibanejad in space, and he rips it to give him a 1-0 lead. And Lafreniere on that line with Zibanejad and Buchnevich is paying dividends. It's been a great line. And I think what it's also done is it's made that Hedl line better with Kreider and Kakko. Those two lines have improved since they made that Lafreniere for Kreider swap. No question. The Sabres would tie it. Soon thereafter, Jeff Skinner on a nice backhand goal to tie it up at 1. But then the Rangers, at the 12-minute mark of the first, score. Give themselves a 2-1 lead on a beautiful sort of give and go from Fox to Kakko. So Kakko gets the puck, Kakko gets the puck over to Fox. And then you could see Kakko racing to open space. And Fox, of course, as he normally does, pinpoint accuracy, finds Kakko and a hard one-timer for the goal. Great shot by Kakko. It's the assertiveness you want to see from him, and that would be his first goal of the night. Gives the Rangers a 2-1 lead. Then the Rangers would score on the power play. Zibanejad draws the power play, and then he scores on it. On a beautiful feed from Panarin. Fox also gets an assist. So Zibanejad gets his second goal. And he wasn't done. Zibanejad gets the hat trick at 2:05 of the second period. This was not a good goal by Dustin Tokarski. It goes through him, and Zibanejad scores. Assists to Buchnevich and Adam Fox with another assist. So that's 3 assists for Adam Fox, just like that. So he continues just, really being right in that Norris Trophy conversation. So Zibanejad makes it 3-1. And again, just unbelievable by Mika. The turnaround has been something else. And so at that point, it's 4-1. And then it would be a penalty by Pavel Buchnevich that would lead to a power play goal by Victor Olofsson. Brett Howden kind of just lost the stick. I'm not sure what happened there. And Olofsson, as we see him do sometimes, scores a power play goal. And that makes it 4-2. So it's 4-2 going to the third. And then the Rangers would score another power play goal. And this would be a goal by Kaapo Kakko. His second goal of the game. Sort of a greasy goal on a shot by Buchnevich. And Zach Jones gets his first NHL point. I think Zach Jones has done a good job. He hasn't made mistakes. He's played sheltered minutes. The ice time hasn't really been there, but he's done what he needed to do. And he's looked pretty decent in that second power play unit. And that gives the Rangers a 5-2 lead. And then Sam Reinhart would score to make it 5-3 about halfway through the third. And then Ryan Strome would take a hooking penalty. Did not love Strome's game in this one at all, as Strome would take 2 penalties. But the Rangers would get a shorthanded empty net goal. Kevin Rooney scores his 8th of the season to give the Rangers a 6-3 win. So bit of sloppiness, but mostly a pretty good game for the Rangers here, I felt. Scored goals in bunches. This was kind of a typical Ranger game when they're playing well. A lot of goals. Some timely saves from Shesterkin, but we'll get into the second game where Shesterkin really stars in that one. But again, the story here is a hat trick by Zibanejad, 2 goals by Kakko, 3 assists for Fox. So that's kind of the key here. So moving on to the second game, and here it was again, and we've seen it a lot where the Rangers in the second game of back-to-backs against the same team, for the most part, after they win that first game, the second game is usually a struggle, and this one was a struggle. And it really was. The first period, they were sleepwalking. I mean, Buffalo took it to them, and Shesterkin made save after save after save. He was really the story in this game. I mean, Igor Shesterkin was fantastic. His rebound control was great. He was moving side to side well. Just everything that you could ask for from Igor. And the Rangers would finally get on the board in the second period. And the goal, his 5th of the season by Brendan Smith. Now, Brendan Smith is probably playing his best hockey as a Ranger since the Rangers traded for him in 2017. So in 2017, him and Brady Shea made a very good duo as a second, I guess it was, at that time it was McDonough Girardi, Shea Smith, and then Stahl Holden. And much to the chagrin of Ranger fans, Alain Vigneault did play Stahl Holden a lot. But the point is, Shea and Smith was a pretty good pair then. And that led to Smith being re-signed to a 4-year deal, which has not worked out. In year 1 of that contract, Smith was sent down to Hartford. He was basically jettisoned. And then in year 2, he goes back and forth between forward and defense. And then it wasn't really until last year, after Brady Shea gets traded at the deadline, where Smith is kind of, he becomes partners with Jacob Trouba and gets big minutes. And then this year, he's been solid. And again, now with Trouba out of the lineup, Smith is stepping up, playing like 20 minutes a night. He was fantastic. So it's a surprise. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I always thought that he was going to, be elsewhere next year, but who knows? Maybe if the price is right and it's on the cheap, maybe there is a reunion between the Rangers and Brendan Smith. So he scores his 5th goal of the year. But then the same old issues occur for the Rangers. End of period woes have just been really bad for this team all season long. And that would not get any better tonight, where they were hemmed in their own zone, and it would lead to Philip Hedl taking a tripping penalty with 19:27. So you're thinking, all right, not great. Probably means that they're going to be shorthanded in the third period. Not so fast. I would need to see a replay, but I think it was Pavel Buchnevich. I'm not too sure. Someone had an opportunity to clear the puck down and did not do so. And then the puck would go into the Rangers zone, and someone else, maybe Mika, had a chance to maybe chip it away from someone. Well, the puck ends up on Sam Reinhart's stick with about 3.7 seconds left, and he wires it home. So Reinhart scores a power play goal, ties it up at 1 at the end of the second. And I felt like that was a pretty big goal at the time. And again, Buffalo through 2 periods was definitely the better team. Absolutely. And I felt like early in the third, Buffalo was playing pretty well. And then the Rangers would get a couple of power plays. They would not score on the first one. Eventually, Kevin Rooney would take a penalty, a boarding penalty. He bored Drake Kajula into the boards. Just a dumb penalty by Rooney, who would then fight Dylan Cousins. But Rooney just not smart there. But they would kill off that penalty. Because of the penalty, I think that led to some different line combinations. So you have Lafreniere, Strome, and Panarin. And Alexis Lafreniere scores the big goal on a nice pass from Strome, who I felt like to that point in the game, Strome, I did not like his play at all. So there's actually 2 players that kind of redeemed themselves in the third here. Strome being one of them. Fox gets an assist, his 42nd assist. Unreal for Adam Fox. But Lafreniere scores his 10th goal, a big goal. And it's great to see the progression of Lafreniere. It was the first 15 games was a complete struggle. There would certainly be reasons to defend him. But look, it just didn't look good. And I never, it'd be way too soon to label him as a bust. Same thing with Kakko last year. These are really young players, and not everyone can be Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. It just doesn't work that way. But what we're seeing from Lafreniere is impressive, and he looks just like a different player automatically. So a huge goal there gives him a 2-1 lead. And then the Rangers, Brendan Smith, who continues to draw penalties. I think Brendan Smith has drawn the most penalties of any defenseman in the National Hockey League this year. He draws a lot of them, and you wouldn't think it. And then Drake Kajula would get a delay of game penalty at 12:24. So the Sabres would kill off the first penalty, but they would not kill off the second. The Rangers had a lot of chances, a lot of posts, but eventually they would score. And Strome would kind of, I'm not sure if it was a shot or a pass, but the puck gets to Chris Kreider, who actually, I'm not sure if he did this on purpose. Knowing Kreider, probably not. But he kind of does a backhand pass to an open Zibanejad who buries it and gives the Rangers a 3-1 lead, and they would hold it. Rangers would hold that 3-1 lead. I thought it was a pretty good third period. They would end up they got outshot 16-6 in the first, and they would end up out shooting Buffalo 41-37. And it speaks to Shesterkin's greatness, who, he gets 36 saves, first star of the game. And, in this one, again, Brendan Smith does a great job. Lafreniere with the winning goal. So, yeah, Rangers, I would not say that these were, like I said at the start, pretty games, but they're able to get the wins. And I think what's great for this team is just to play meaningful games down the stretch. That's it. And they will get that. 2 games coming up with the Islanders, who are struggling. And the one good Islander game recently was against the Rangers. They embarrassed the Rangers. I mean, certainly the final score was. And I think Trouba getting hurt in that game certainly affected them. But even still, even when Trouba was in the game, it didn't. The feel wasn't good. And then when he was out of there, that was it. So we'll see if he's back. I really have no idea as far as Trouba's status. It'll be interesting. And just some thoughts. And I've been saying this, Vitaly Kravtsov needs to switch with Colin Blackwell. The Lafreniere-Kreider swap has done wonders. Do the same with Blackwell and Kravtsov. Kravtsov is stuck with Rooney and Howden, and I can't wait till Brett Howden's off this team. Again, I respect his penalty-killing abilities and maybe winning the odd face-off, but I'm pretty done with Brett Howden at this point, and I wish he was in the lineup, but you just kind of deal with it. But you wish that Kravtsov wasn't getting just... in this game, he got, really low ice time. It was 8:35, whereas Blackwell ends up playing 14:12. I just think that Panarin Strome line, and it's funny, Lafreniere scores with Panarin and Strome. And I was seeing some things like this before they made the Lafreniere-Kreider switch. Like, Kravtsov would move up to the Zibanejad-Buchnevich line, and he would score. So you're getting sneak previews. Just make the actual switch. It would seem easy to me, but it doesn't feel like they're going to do that. So I just think you're hurting your team. And not for nothing, Kravtsov's the young kid. Blackwell is sort of the feel-good story vet type. So it'd be easy to just move him down to the fourth line. So that's certainly something to look at. I think with Shesterkin, they will probably ride him out. Georgiev does have good success against the Islanders, but my guess would be that it'll be Shesterkin on Thursday at the Garden, just because he's been playing so well. He's the number one. But if they were to lose, then I think you would probably see Georgiev at the Coliseum on Saturday. Maybe even if you win, but I think they're going to try to go with Igor as long as they can. It sounds like Varlamov is day-to-day. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but Sorokin played tonight for the Honors against the Caps. And so we'll see who's in goal for the Islanders. But I think both teams are going to be really highly motivated in this game where, the Rangers are really kind of just trying to win every game they can. And they're coming off of that bad defeat against the Islanders. Flip side for the Islanders, that was their one really good game. They are having major trouble scoring goals. And in a lot of ways, it is reminding me of what we saw last year before the stoppage, where that team is, I think they're going to be kind of saved by the bell. And by, playing the Sabres and the Devils next week, I would expect the Islanders to hold on and get in, for sure. This is a team that is vulnerable right now, but I think, it'll be interesting to see because, again, both teams are going to be really focused and into it. And so, it should lead to some interesting games. Rangers, Islanders, and then the Rangers in the last week of the season have 2 at the Capitals and 2 at the Bruins. So they are going to be playing some meaningful games, whether it's for them or for their opponents, and trying to maybe play some spoiler down the stretch for seeding purposes. So, again, if you're the Rangers, you're just trying to win. You really kind of, to have any playoff aspirations, you kind of just need to win out, or at least have that mindset of you just got to win every single game. So, things are definitely good for the Rangers, and I'll be very interested to see how things go now that they're done with the Devils, done with the Sabres, and they will be definitely taking a step up in competition. So we'll see what happens with the Rangers and the Islanders. First game Thursday at Madison Square Garden, and then the second game Saturday at Nassau Coliseum.